Final piece tonight was in regards to something mentioned last night. Where are all the good guys? And the reply in the Series 100, there are none. That is more true in the highest levels than people think. All bought and paid to play their game. Now there is a few that got trapped up in the system, but for the majority it is in them all along to be that way. Cabal go on profiling from a young age and categorise if people fit into certain modes or roles. So those people, it's in their DNA, so to speak, to begin with. Like the core pirate structure, it's all about how far you can trample all over your work colleagues to get to the so-called top. The reality is, you are nowhere near the top as you thought. You all just bought into the illusion of being important. Even some of the 301 bloodline families have found out, to their cost recently. They thought they were top of the tree. Then it all gets taken off them for the higher order. And then we come to our level, we the people, of where are all the good guys? Now there's many good people, lots of them. But one, will they wake up? Two, if they do wake up, how far will they go to be the change? Three, are they prepared in some cases to sacrifice their lifestyle to get involved? Four, will they accept heightened levels of abuse and ridicule? 5, will they put their life on hold while doing so? 6, will they be bought off to shut up or stand down? And 7, will they literally put their life on the line for the cause? 7 big questions that all can ask of themselves. And the reality is very few will do all 7. And therein lies the issue, does it not? Just how far are you prepared to go to change not only your life, but everyone else's? It's a big sacrifice that sadly only the few are prepared to make, fighting for a cause that is greater than you. Those people are few and far between. We know. We have observed it. And the key is, like the 100 series, you have to create good guys by joining up together. Overlapping circles of people that eventually form the pattern of the flower of life. That is our task ahead. And if you really want change, more people have to have the fortitude to do all 7 of the above mentioned. One of my biggest bugbears in America is the so-called militia. Training in the woods forever and a day, it seems. Militia groups, of course, were highly prevalent around the alt media, particularly 2009 through 2014, when they started to be called out, and then they vanished. And they were coming online, including my former show, that they were going to do this and they were going to do that and I'm going to do the other. The reality is they did jack. Now, I know there are many passionate militia around the country who are willing to do what their affiliation stands for. But sadly, those affiliations was riddled with anti-American agents, agency spooks, and also cowards. The minute they were asked to do anything of note, they all turned tail and ran. Fine running round the woods and shooting animals for sport, it seems, but when it comes to real action, off they ran, hiding behind legalese. Oh, we can't do that, it's illegal. Really? But our whole system of government is illegal, and that's okay, is it? The militia was formed to step in if a government went rogue. Supposedly, anyway. And the question is, how rogue has it got to be before they act? I rarely give myself any praise, as it's not really in my nature. But you people should be utterly ashamed that a Brit has done more to try and correct the ills of this country than all of you combined. And that applies to all Americans who haven't stood up enough as well. This is your country. You were all born here. I wasn't. Proud to be American, many of you sing, but not proud enough to protect and fight for your fellow Americans. It's shameful and a national embarrassment. And it's time some stood up and showed some backbone. Real backbone. This is your country, not theirs. You were all born here. But I will tell you now, your country, I'm telling you, is now in a death spiral. There's no two ways about it. And that's not a throwaway line. It's a fact. We are dying by a death of 1,000 cuts. And the people, by and large, have ignored it. 330 million people, and yet only a few bother. There's only 350,000 clowns and minions out of 330 million. Whilst many people are pandering to psychopaths like the Bushes, Clintons, Cheneys, Rumsfelds, voted for people who are known sex offenders, voted for Nazis, hello, Brown, Pelosi, Feinstein, and voted for the mentally challenged like Pelosi and Waters, to name but a few. You voted for them all. They never forced you to vote. You just followed orders. But you've forgotten you have your own choice, not theirs. Triality thinking, not duality thinking. The glorious human creation that we are, as mentioned in the Q&A earlier, reduced to cowering, fear, personal and collective apathy, acceptance of slavery, and acceptance of crimes that are the most heinous things I've ever heard. Acceptance of child abuse, child sex slavery, child harvesting, and child ritual abuse, torture and death. And yet the majority of you in this country just ignore it. Proud to be an American. Not in my book. And it's time this country and its people collectively stepped into reality. Military people doing jack. Treasury people committing sins and treason. Government people also. And they walk amongst us. With a militia. The only country left with guns. And they won't use them. I don't advocate violence. Never have done. But the gun doesn't have to be used for violence. It can be used as a deterrent. And yet the militia has done nothing. The important thing is not whether we get funding or whether there's Russian collusion or not, or whether Hillary has done 2,000 crimes or just one. The important thing is you all fight to save this country. It's dying. The financials are gone. There's nothing left. We have no military, no government, no constitution, no currency, no banks, no rights for legal representation. You don't own your car, you don't own your home, you don't own your possessions or your bank accounts. And worse still, you have no rights to your own children. And we tolerate this shit and spend time arguing whether the earth is flat or round. Time we used our source damn brains we were all born with for once, and fight not only for this country but this planet, but for the very survival of our species. And again, that's not a throwaway line, it's a fact. Whilst Black Lives Matter, your population numbers have gone up, the whites has gone down 2/3, and nobody noticed. JFK's words ring in the ears. Ask not what you can do for your country, or ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. The reality is the country has done nothing for us. So ask, what can you do for your people? Like I said, this is your country, not mine. I'm proud to be here and live American. But it's both sad and shameful to me that a Brit has stood up more for this country than the majority of Americans have, including those in the higher office. And it's time for us all to do your part, methinks, and reverse that path. Like I said, I'm proud to be a representative of America and live here. But how many of the 330 million can really say they've done their part in saving the peoples of this country? This has been The Truth on Our Integrity Show. My name's Thomas Williams. I'm going to leave you with a reminder of Reagan's speech, and given what it was yesterday, we're going to end with the song Love Conquers All. It's time we all learned to love each other. Bye for now.
Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car, and we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free. This belief has been the underlying basis for everything I've tried to do these past 8 years. But back in the 1960s, when I began, it seemed to me that we'd begun reversing the order of things, that through more and more rules and regulations and confiscatory taxes, the government was taking more of our money, more of our options, and more of our freedom. I went into politics in part to put up my hand and say, stop. I was a citizen politician, and it seemed the right thing for a citizen to do. I think we have stopped a lot of what needed stopping, and I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited. There's a clear cause and effect here that is as neat and predictable as a law of physics. As government expands, liberty contracts.